Hey all, Amber here, although I'm sure some of you are already aware of that, if you've been here before anyway. If not, hi, glad to see you here. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to stop by and watch this video. I greatly appreciate it. Now, just insert your usual or expected subscribe plea and we can move on. Now then, this week's character's name is Ashley Ancre. She is Vanessa's half-sister and Siren's daughter. I know that I've gone into some detail about her life already, so I won't go into all of that again. Also, I'm going to pause this for a moment. These wings, the initial sketch, as you will see, was imported and not by me. I was having a hard time with it, so I requested help from somebody else. I will link to her Twitter down in the description below. It is official Mimi Art, I think was, on Twitter. And she was an absolute doll. Did the sketch for me and I was able to run with that. Thank you, Mimi. If you're watching this, thank you again. Thank you so much. Alright, moving on. As I said last week, Ashley lived with her mother and sister in a cabin given to them by Vincent Remington. Her sister, Vanessa, however, did not get along with Ashley too well at all. She absolutely hated the fact that she, Ashley, is half human. The end result is that Vanessa had absolutely no issue using her sister for her experiments after their mother died. At first, Ashley had no issues with it either. Granted, they were pretty low-key things, wanting to test how her mana mixed with the fact that she was half human, for example. Things that would be good, regardless, even if they were definitely not fun. Vanessa, though, put her through all 9 levels of hell before making a deal with a mortal. Okay, I'm sorry about that pause there. That's not entirely accurate. I'm not sure what my brain was thinking there. Whatever. Most of the experimentation done to her was, quote-unquote, for the betterment of her life, as Vanessa knew their mother would shut it all down quickly if she knew what it was that was truly going on. At some point, Ashley recalls a pair of twins her sister acquired. They were twin boys, only a few days old, maybe a couple of weeks, and they were firings. Later, Ashley would learn that that was the exact reason that they were collected. Stolen. Now, I will link in the description or the card or whatever. Firings. The boys in question are Rowena Firing's sons. Her video was one that doesn't have all the information though. Anyway, male firings were reportedly unable to access their mana, but if they could, they would be far more susceptible to the corruption that the rune brought, and, as a result, killed at birth. There will be more on that in the videos for those 2 boys later. For now, let's focus on Ashley. So, Vanessa acquired 2 screaming babes, and Siren, their mother, helped to take care of them, as Vanessa didn't have anything akin to a mothering bone in her body. Ashley was the lovable older sister, but she doted on the boys. You have no idea. She doted on them. She was not the jealous rivalry sort. After Siren's death, the twins and Ashley noticed a near immediate change in Vanessa. They all felt the effects. Vanessa was not nice to any of them. Eventually, Vanessa let it be known that she had the intention to try and fuse one of the boys with one of the last known dragons in existence. Ashley realized that it would likely kill him, so she stepped up and insisted to take his place, completely and utterly unaware that she'd been played. The intention had been for Ashley to be the test subject, but Vanessa had manipulated her sister to get her to agree to it. Ashley survived the experimentation, and with the slight personality shifts due to the draconic influence within her now, she realized just how much she actually hates her sister. With that realization in hand, she had every intention of leaving. Ashley had reached her limit. She survived, yes, and there were no long-lasting damages overall. But she wasn't blind or clueless to what it was that Vanessa was doing any longer. So, she made plans to bail. Sadly, not quick enough. By the time she'd recovered enough that she could actually bail, or even see the twin boys that she'd found herself getting extremely close to, she'd learned that both had fallen victim to her sister. Vanessa was moving fast after the success with Ashley. It took months, years, before they were able to attempt an escape. An attempt that, sadly, failed. Vanessa had found out about their escape plans, and the end result was that only one of the boys were able to get out. Ashley took minimal pride in that success, as she realized that she released him into a world that wouldn't give him the time of day, strictly because he is a firing. Plus, Vanessa did not let the escape attempt go unpunished. It ended up in Ashley wishing for death, frequently. She even stood at the edge of that abyss several times, but she could never go through with it. Sadly, her sister realized the precarious edge that Ashley was on and preyed upon her more so. Ashley was broken 6 ways from Sunday, and it wasn't all that difficult. The guilt that she felt, since she hadn't gotten them both out, and that the one that she did manage to free would most likely not have an easy life, made it extremely easy for Vanessa to use. It wasn't perfect or permanent, though. Over time, years or more, Ashley came to realize, again, that her sister was a monster. An absolute monster. She vowed to both herself and the firing that was still there that she would get out of there, find his brother, and get him out of there too. She did manage to escape eventually. She really did not like the idea of leaving him there alone like that, but completely realized that she didn't really have all that much of a choice. It didn't take long after her escape before she finally managed... What? Okay, apparently I have a half a sentence. Whatever. It didn't take long after the first boy's escape before she finally managed to follow suit. She had no idea what the world would hold for her, but she knew that she had to, at least, try. It was bound to be better out there than it was with her sister, right? Well, she learned that it was better, yes, but also a lot worse in ways. She found herself rejected, repelled, hated, feared, and abused. She lived in the forests, quickly learning to avoid any and all people. She knew that they might kill her, and it would be absolute torture since she would not die easily due to her natural elven genetics. The Draconic edition would help make it even more difficult. Ashley, of course, was not interested in that at all. Self-preservation. It took a while before she snuck into a town to grab some clothing, where she was seen. They did attempt to arrest her, since she was a quote-unquote threat, apparently. While she was able to get away with little issue, that was the encounter that changed her life. Badly, at first. One of those involved was a mage, and they put a hunt into the guilds to find and stop her, meaning she was dodging being seen by the general public, but also had to dodge traps that were being laid to catch her. And sadly, eventually, she was caught. By someone she was looking for, though. There were 2 people that Ashley had been hoping to find. The man that she had known as a young child, Vincent Remington, and the firing that she'd helped escape. The one who caught her was the firing, and he was actually doing quite well for himself, as she would learn. From there, they rekindled their friendship, and it grew. Eventually, the pair had a child together. All those details are being worked out, so I'm not going to touch on that here. The last point I will touch on for Ashley is her and her involvement with her sister's death. In this world that I've created, dark elves are extremely difficult to kill. So difficult, in fact, that the best manner is to either do something drastic like decapitate them, or get another dark elf to use their mana in such a way to kill them. So Ashley was needed to ensure her sister's death. The reason I did that is because in terms of elves, high elves can do like your healing, your recovery. Wood elves are more your natural, and then dark elves are destruction and mental. At no point would she openly admit to just how cathartic it was to deal the final blow to someone that had been such a monster, but she also hated it. Vanessa had been the last pure-blood dark elf. With her, that race of elves is basically dead and gone. Ashley's only half, as is her nephew, Vanessa's son, but he's half wood elf. Dark elves can never be whole again, and while Ashley is really perfectly alright with that, she'd be lying if she were to say that she liked being the one to do it. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Some details are still being worked out and such, but here's the basics for my human elf girl with draconic DNA, Ashley. Thanks for hanging around and listening to me ramble. I definitely appreciate it. Next week is going to be my blind girl who has like a techie visor that's built right into her head. Well, connects right into her head. Oh, and she can't die. But we'll go from there. Anyway, stay cool, cats. I'll catch you on the flip side. And do make sure to check out Mimi. Her art is actually really nice. I really like it. There will be a link to her in the description below. Thanks. This is Amber out. See ya.